Oklahoma for a top 10 showdown. Tonight, two of the biggest stories in the Big 12. The first place Red Raiders of Texas Tech after their first 3-0 start in league play in 14 years. They try to slow down the nation's top scorer, Oklahoma freshman Trae Young. Alongside Tim Welshine, play Matt Pickett. Tim, the Sooners' 10-game winning streak snapped at West Virginia. Javon Carter and company made Trae Young very uncomfortable.
You know, they got after him as soon as he got off the bus. And this is what West Virginia does to you. They deny, they trap, and they face guard you all over the court. And they wore out Trae Young with just pressure defense in the full court with two guys. And then one man in the half court. They did a lot of switching, forcing him into tough shot, contested shots, 8 for 22 on the day, 8 assists. And then they really got after him and made him give up the ball to other players, and that's what Bob Huggins wanted to do. And at the end of the game, you saw it wear him down with tough shots from the perimeter by one of the best defensive players around in Javon Carter.
He finished with 29 points, right at his season average, but only 5 assists, 5 below his average, and a season-high 8 turnovers. Keenan Evans, the reigning Big 12 Player of the Week, he's going to be the guy guarding Young a lot tonight. That should be an interesting matchup. The Red Raiders in the black uniforms, they have the #1 defense in the Big 12, 4th best in the country. The Sooners, the #1 offense in the country, and the best offensive players. So we'll see what gives here tonight.
We'll see what gives, and we'll also see how Trae Young reacts to really a subpar performance over the weekend. A learning experience for a freshman in the Big 12 going against a senior and an experienced defense like West Virginia. He'll see similar defense tonight, not full court pressure, but in the half court, they'll do a lot of switching and attacking.
Well, Oklahoma's starting 5, Young, James, Odoms, Latin, and the other great freshman, Brady Manick. Texas Tech missing a senior starter, Zach Smith. He's out with a right foot injury tonight as Oklahoma turns it over. They're hoping to have Smith back this weekend against West Virginia, but Chris Beard said it's up to the doctors, and we know for sure he is unavailable tonight. There you see him in street clothes.
Well, certainly a high-level athlete, a guy that brings a lot to Texas Tech, especially defensively. He can rotate guard multiple positions. But one thing Texas Tech has is a lot of players. Chris Beard will go 10 deep.
Keenan Evans, an elite Big 12 point guard. He's number 12 in black. Gives it off to Stevenson. And Naeem Stevenson scores the first 2. He's really a wild card tonight. He had 11 against Baylor, only a couple against Kansas State the other day. And now another Oklahoma turnover. So far, so good with this Red Raiders defense.
We saw in that first possession play, Naeem Stevenson took Trae Young right off the bounce all the way to the rim, making him play defense.
Evans over the top of Young, knocks down 2.
Clearly, it's been talked about that you have to make Trae Young play defense, and it's not like Lon Kruger doesn't want him to play defense. He wants him to play defense without fouling. He doesn't foul, but sometimes he doesn't pay attention to his assignments defensively.
Rashard Odoms gets 2, and he'll get a bonus.
That's just the best example of Oklahoma and how they attack in spacing. They're so spread out, and they share the basketball. That time, Odoms just one-on-one all the way to the rim, and Texas Tech so aware of the perimeter shooters that Oklahoma possesses on the outside. They didn't give any help on the drive.
Foul on Zaire Smith, freshman from Garland, Texas, making his first career start tonight. Odoms completes the 3-point play. He had a season-high 11 in the loss at West Virginia. Really, Odom's best work came on the defensive end in that game, despite the loss.
Rashard Odoms had a big game against Texas Tech a year ago on this floor, so it's for him to be aggressive early, but Texas Tech is going to work the floor in their 5-man motion until you make a mistake defensively.
3 to shoot. Stevenson had it ripped away, and they're not going to get a shot off. So Oklahoma throwing the defense right back in Texas Tech's face as you take a look at Chris Beard, second-year head coach. He was on Bob Knight's staff in 2004, the last time Texas Tech started 3-0 in Big 12 play.
You watch that 5-man motion. It's reminiscent of Bob Knight and his great teams at both Indiana and Texas Tech. And Chris Beard has done well meshing Tubby Smith's recruits with his own, and he's got this team ready this season.
Odoms inside. Odiasi, great defense, and just ripped it away from him. Now here's Gray in transition, but he traveled. Justin Gray, the veteran glue guy for Texas Tech with the mistake there. Now Oklahoma with a chance to take the lead back.
Well, Justin Gray came out of the gates a week ago in Lawrence, Kansas, and just was on fire in their win against KU. And Texas Tech showing some zone early. They'll do this. They'll stay attached to Trey Young on the perimeter.
Skip pass to Manick, wide open for three. Grady Manick, freshman, had no points at West Virginia, only a couple of shots taken. Latin, that's what he does. That's his 200th career block. And now Young penetrating. Hands off, the basket inside. Well, first time Texas Tech has trailed in Big 12 play this year.
How about that? And Trey Young making the extra pass, driving it all the way to the rim, slicing into the middle.
And another Red Raiders giveaway. And Manick flushes it down.
Well, that's very un-Texas Tech-like defensively. That time, Trey Young, everybody was looking at him, and they didn't get back in matchup and transition. And Trey Young, the distributor so far.
Stevenson thought about the shot, moves in. Looking for help. Here's Culver, the freshman, missed badly, and Manick is able to clear it for Oklahoma. Deep three. Nothing for Trey Young yet offensively. As far as points. Odiasi off a nice pass from Evans. And he'll go to the free throw line with 15:45 to play here in the first half. Oklahoma with a 3-point lead here at home.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Boost Mobile and in part by Degree Deodorant. It won't let you down. And Sam Adams. Fill your glass.
The nation's leader in points and assists alongside Tim Welsh and Clay Matvick. Big night for the freshman tonight, going against his dad's old team.
It's a big night because it's a bounce-back night against another really good team in the Big 12 and an experienced team with 5 seniors. Keenan Evans at the guard spot, terrific defender. College basketball can be humbling for freshmen. Well, Trey Young got a little bit of humble pie over the weekend, but he'll learn from it because he's got a great coach and he's got great pedigree as well. So I expect him to play much better tonight, and you see it already. He's playing with a lot of focus and more toughness and better shot selection early.
Stan Rayford played at Texas Tech in the late 90s. First father-son combination to play men's basketball in the Big 12 since the league began in '96. Young still looking for his first points, tries to feed James for that three-pointer.
Well, there's no doubt that the staff broke the film down and showed him all the forced shots he had against West Virginia. And again, that's what Ron Kruger has said to him. You have the green light, but I'm putting a little bit of a stoplight on you for tough contested shots. And he took too many of those on Saturday against West Virginia.
Evans trying to keep his dribble alive on the baseline. Now he's tied up by James. And here's Trey Young talking about going against his dad's former team.
That's the thing. I'm looking forward to seeing what color shirt he has on. But no, it's going to be fun. A lot of emotions, especially for my dad. But, I mean, this is going to be another game. It's going to be fun. And I think my dad will be thinking about some memories he used to have in a game like this.
Brandon Francis knocks down the three.
Well, Brandon Francis is starting to come alive. Texas Tech the last couple games feeling a little bit more comfortable. The transfer from Florida.
Slow start here for Young offensively. Another miss in close.
Well, this is not going to be easy for him tonight. He's going to have to work and be smart about his shots, and his teammates are going to have to help him as well because Texas Tech, they're not a pressure team, full court like West Virginia, but in the half court, they're going to get after you with length, size, quickness, experience, and they're going to do a lot of switching.
Davide Moretti misses, but the stick back by Tommy Hamilton, the 6'11" DePaul transfer, his first two. Now we get a stoppage. Chris Beard has to be happy with the start.
Well, he does, and they're not going to beat you with just come down and take a lot of threes. They're going to be focused on attacking offensively and wait for you to make a mistake. That's what they do. They run the 5-man motion. It's going to be very, very balanced. He brings in good players off the bench. And here you see on the drive, just nobody came in on the backside. The guards leaked out because that's what they're used to doing. They want to get going instead of taking care of business on the glass.
Young leaning in. They're trying to create his own shot, but again, Red Raiders standing their ground. Now here's Francis splitting the double team. Missed the shot, and McNeese flies in for the rebound for Oklahoma. Matt Freeman, a stretch four from New Zealand, comes up empty from range.
This Davide Moretti, the freshman from Italia for Texas Tech. They think he's going to be a keeper for the future point guard.
He has tons of international experience as Hamilton misses from deep. Yeah, like you said before, Tubby's veterans, the junior college transfers, the freshmen that Chris Beard has been able to bring in, it's made for a nice cocktail.
Zaire Smith is an excellent freshman. Jared Culver as well. Those are two really good-looking freshmen that he brings in off the bench. And Chris Beard has said he's always liked to bring in two very good players off the bench. Probably that should be starting, but he likes to use them coming in for his depth.
Moretti tied up down low and another jump ball. This time the possession arrow favors Oklahoma.
Here Moretti just still trying to get used to the speed and quickness of the game here at the college level, but Chris Beard was very strong in his praise today of Moretti.
And his praise of Lon Kruger gushed over Coach Kruger. Really respects his counterpart tonight. 17 NCAA tournaments. Couple of Final Fours. McCusty misses the jump shot. James, the turnaround, got it.
Well, Texas Tech's trying to bump this game up, and Oklahoma's going to have to play that style tonight. They're going to have to grind again on the glass to get things done, especially offensively. Texas Tech is not going to give them easy opportunities.
Hamilton battling there with McNeese. Great job by Jamani McNeese to force another Texas Tech turnovers. Hamilton took too many steps.
Well, the interesting thing, Clay, is that Oklahoma, everyone talks about Trae Young and 94 points a game and leading scorer in the country and all this other stuff. But Lon Kruger is an excellent defensive coach, and that kind of gets lost in the fast pace that they play. But you know, talking to him after Bedlam last week at the Oklahoma State game, and he was not happy with their defense. And he wants them to be more solid defensively.
Gray forces the turnover. Justin Gray started 43 the last 44 games for Texas Tech.
Just a glue guy, an excellent athlete, a lot of toughness on that wing.
Evans over the lane. He draws the contact with 11:51 before half. We're going to talk more about Chris Beard's Red Raiders tied for first in the Big 12 with a big chance here on the road. We'll talk about them right after this timeout. Tech Red Raiders after that win at Allen Fieldhouse. 10-spot jump in the polls this week. Started the season unranked. Their only loss to Seton Hall at Madison Square Garden. 4 top 25 wins. And they've done it with defense. Chris Beard's team playing very well defensively again here tonight. They've held Trae Young, the nation's leading scorer, off the board.
Well, they're not going to give up anything easy. They do a lot of switching, as we said. They've got really good size at the guard and wing spots. And you know, as we said before, it's a combination of Tubby Smith's recruits, and Chris is so respectful to guys like Tubby Smith and Lon Kruger, and he understands, listen, I came in here, I had some good players in the program who were in the NCAA tournament, and a culture was already established by a very good winning coach, and You just had to build on it, and he's done a tremendous job with that. And really an excellent teacher. You watch his practices, you get a lot out of it. And this team is not going to get beat by toughness. They're plus 14 on the season in Big 12 games on the glass.
Freeman for three for Oklahoma. And another jump ball. Possession arrow is going to give it to Texas Tech. Trae Young on the bench right now. So Jordan Shepard in the backcourt for Oklahoma running the point.
This is about the time that Lon Kruger takes him out, right before the under 12 timeout. And he'll bring him back in sometime between now and the 8-minute mark, or maybe after the 8-minute mark, and then he'll be in for the rest of the half.
Oklahoma started 3 of 6 from the field. Since then, 1 of 9. And Young so far tonight 0 for 4. Stevenson throws it up with that left hand, can't get it to fall.
Good solid defense by Oklahoma, closing the door quick on Stevenson on that drive to the rim.
Shimani McNeese turnaround left hand. Oklahoma stays cold.
Well, it's one and done. They just form a wall inside, just fundamental with their blockouts.
Evans, fourth top 10 opponent in less than a month for Oklahoma. Wins over Wichita State and TCU before Saturday's loss to West Virginia. They'll face another top 25 on Saturday as they host TCU right here.
Oklahoma's got to move the ball a little bit more from side to side. It's kind of getting stuck in the middle of the floor, and everybody's standing and watching.
Stevenson, Keenan Evans. Stevenson deep three. That bangs in off the glass.
Take it any way you can against this defense tonight. Oklahoma's come to play defensively now. Oklahoma's got to move the ball from side to side, get a little more movement, and Lon Kruger wants to discuss.
Timeout Oklahoma. Just under 10 minutes to go here in the first half. 15-9 Texas Tech.
May I please have a double shot half almond milk latte with 2 half pumps of caramel? Oh, in the foam, can you put a heart?
A broken one.
How'd you know?
If you can get picky with your coffee, why not get picky with your TV?
Get the #1 live OTT service with Sling. Start at $20 a month. Then pick your personal channel lineup and save.
Are you new here?
No.
Go to slingtv.com and start watching 7 days free.
Trae Young and the nation's top scoring offense at 94 points per game. They're averaging 102 points per game at home. Really, since Thanksgiving, this team and that man has been quite a story.
It really has, and it's not like, you know, everyone says, well, he's going to have to adjust to the Big 12, and he will. And you'll see it, but as he's playing, goes from game to game. But he's played against good competition already before the Big 12. And right now, though, they've got to just settle down and try to get him open with some screens away from the basketball. Lon Kruger talked about that, maybe moving him off the ball a little bit.
Young back in there. He was on the bench for a little over 3 minutes. Auguste had it partially blocked by Zaire Smith, who came sailing in, and now he'll sail to the other end and have his shot blocked by Lapp. Young in transition, and now he's fouled from behind.
That's what you call effort on the defensive end. Just contest on the closeout by Smith, and then on the retreat, Lapp. Just tremendous effort to get back into play in the timing at the rim.
Kadeem Latin, 4th all-time in blocks at Oklahoma. There's a good chance he'll catch Al Beal. His 230 career blocks, all-time leader at Oklahoma before the season's over. Young at the line. 85% foul shooting.
Forgotten in that play was Zaire Smith just from basically the paint all the way to the three-point line to block that shot in the corner. On the run out, though, just couldn't finish the play.
So Young is able to lift the lid and get on the board. He's got 2 points now. Brandon Francis steps into a long two. He sat out last year after 1 year with the Florida Gators.
I think he can be a big help offensively in the Big 12. He started to become more comfortable.
And rattles out for James, and Odiasi with the rebound. It's been tough sledding here, Tim, so far for Oklahoma from three-point range. 0 for 8.
None of them really have been clean and open, especially Trae Young on the perimeter. They are sticking to him really similarly to what West Virginia did. Just face guarding, said, okay, let somebody else beat us.
There's a travel. We'll get it back. While the women's Thursday night showcase features a pair of top 5 teams, Muffin McGraw's #2 Fighting Irish sitting at 15-1, taking on #3 Louisville with a perfect 18-0 record. That's Thursday night, 7 Eastern on ESPN, as well as the ESPN app. Trae Young 0 for 4 from the field. A couple of assists. He's got it now. Rolling around, Francis goes to the rack, scores, and he'll get to the line.
Well, that's what Lon Kruger was talking about. What his takeaway from the West Virginia game play was get Trae Young off the ball, do some work for him. He comes off a down screen here on the wing, and then a little pick and roll on the wing. Kind of gets lost on the baseline and found that angle all the way to the rim. And that's good coaching by Lon Kruger, just mixing it up after what he saw on Saturday in Morgantown.
13 straight games with 20 points or more. And again, that media attention almost every day since Thanksgiving. You and I were talking about it during the shoot-around with Lon Kruger. It's pretty impressive how he's handled it.
Well, he comes from good pedigree. Obviously, his parents have raised him well, and being here with the staff at Oklahoma can only help him on a day-to-day basis. They know how to manage this. They did it with Buddy Hield a couple years ago. It's more difficult because Trae Young's only a freshman, but so far, so good.
Odiasi with a nice move with that right hand. 5-point lead for Texas Tech. #8 team in the country. Doolittle had it blocked by Odiasi, getting it done on both ends.
Odiasi, that you look just trimmed down and fit.
He does look good.
Injury-free so far this year.
He's had foot issues the last couple of seasons that have hampered him. Now Young got a block. Now another tie-up. The 4th jump ball we've had is going to give it back to Oklahoma. And Trae Young, who is everywhere it seems here in Norman. That's next.
We got Trae Young today. That's who's on the 6.
Historic. This kid just tied the D1 record for assists in one game.
80% of their baskets, 70% of their baskets, he either scores or assists. That's a ridiculous number.
Tried to go into Latin there with an assist. Texas Tech playing great defense here so far. James is going to get to the line for Oklahoma, but Tim, it does seem that in the last month and a half, everybody in the sports world has been looking at this guy, Trae Young.
Well, that's a lot to put on a freshman, as we said before, but he's got a great support system with his family at every game and right down the road, but there's more pressure. You know, as a hometown kid and now a national name, but that guy right there knows how to handle his business, and he's not going to let things get out of hand, Lon Kruger. And you know, and it's amazing. It's a fine line because you want to give him that freedom. He's that type of player that you have to give him that freedom because that's where he's at his best. But you have to make sure he involves everybody else, and jealousy doesn't come into play with the other players on the team. But none of that has happened so far this year because he's a good kid, and Lon has managed it, and he's got good players around him that he shares the basketball with, obviously, with all those assists.
25 points, 10 assists, 6 times, and that's in 14 career games. 13 games over 20, 5 over 30. He had that 43-point game against the Oregon Ducks, and 8 games with double-digit assists, including the 22-assist game, which tied an NCAA record against Northwestern State. He's been absolutely on a tear.
By the way, tonight he's played very solid defense. You know, early he wasn't in a stance, he wasn't ready, but I think Lon had a little talk with him and said, listen, we need you defensively. They're really cutting off Keenan Evans.
Evans Struggles to get it back to Stevenson. 2 on the shot clock. Latin with another block. That's a shot clock violation. Latin with his 3rd rejection tonight.
Again, that's what we were talking about earlier. An undervalued part of Oklahoma and what Lon Kruger does as a coach. They know how to defend. I mean, there's the help. They really attacked on the wing. They got up into the face of Texas Tech, and Trey Young did a nice job cutting off angles as Keenan Evans tried to get to the rim.
Looking in here is Doolittle. And Oklahoma fans excited to see Christian Doolittle starting to work his way back.
Well, they need him up front with that depth and that toughness. And guys like Freeman and Manick are big players, but they like to play on the perimeter. And you see where Doolittle does his work right around the rim.
He had a 9-game suspension to start the season. It's only his 2nd basket since rejoining the team. And now Trey Young helps Oklahoma cause the turnover. Young stops, spins, left it short on the rim. Odoms, the stick back, working hard underneath Rashard Odoms.
All right, now Oklahoma's matching Texas Tech with their toughness and grit on the defensive end, led by the nation's leading scorer. Defensively, Trey Young getting after it.
And Oklahoma regains the lead for the first time in 11 minutes. Doolittle. Timeout, Texas Tech. It's an 11-2 run for the Sooners.
Lon Kruger, we talked, has been swallowing them up in the lane with turnovers.
Oklahoma has won 10 straight games here at home. They haven't lost a home game since last February to West Virginia. They've got the crowd into it now. Under 5 minutes to go here in the first half. Texas Tech out of that timeout, trying to settle down. Here's Culver, good-looking freshman for Chris Beard. Jump shot off the rim. Here's Doolittle climbing for the rebound.
Oklahoma switching 1 through 4. Here we go.
Young. That's his range. 4 or 5 feet behind the arc.
Get your comments in quickly, Clay.
Their hands in the passing lane for the Sooners, but Hamilton is able to recover for the Red Raiders and drive and score.
His transfer from DePaul. He can step out and shoot from the perimeter. That time showing a little flexibility to the rim.
James from the wing. And again, the 3-ball just not going tonight for the Sooners. Now 0 for 10 from 3. Culver, a lot of control. Loose on the baseline. It's going to stay on this end with 4:02 to go in the half. Saturday on ESPN, number 21 Kentucky taking on Vandy at 4 Eastern, a battle in the SEC, followed by an ACC game, number 20 North Carolina and South Bend to take on Notre Dame. Both of these games part of our Saturday showcase presented by 5 Hour Energy. You can also catch it streaming live. Like Trey Young, Notre Dame's Bonzie Colson was considered, Tim, a Player of the Year candidate until he had foot surgery last week.
Well, how about Mike Gray? They just keep marching on, though. 3-0 in the ACC.
Young with the steal. Numbers for Oklahoma. And McGusty's there to finish.
Who said that young man can't play defense and only can score? He is getting down and dirty defensively tonight for Lon Kruger. Trey Young.
Texas Tech averaging 13 turnovers in Big 12 play. They've got 11 now. Well, Oklahoma's defense has been the story here in the last several minutes here at the Lloyd Noble Center. 3:36 to go here in the first half.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball, and Esurance, auto and home insurance for the modern world.
Guys,
hey, what time's your
pressure with activity, sharing the basketball in transition, and Texas Tech turning it over 11 times already in this first half. And Oklahoma, the interesting thing is they only forced 14 per game, Clay. So That's not the way they normally play, but Texas Tech said, we're going to muck it up. Oklahoma said, we're going to match you defensively.
Trey going to work. Left it short again. So he's now 1 for 9 from the field, but you know, the knock on Young has been, you know, maybe he doesn't defend well enough. But so far tonight, 4 steals. That's a season high, and he's got 7 in the last 2 games. You can see that maybe things are starting to come together on that end of the floor.
He's also guarding an all-league player, Keenan Evans. I mean, again, Oklahoma does a lot of switching, but their activity has been special. Just really tracing the basketball, getting up, getting your hands involved. There's another contested shot.
Gray off the iron. McGusty trying to keep it in there for Oklahoma. And it's going to belong to Texas Tech, as Kip Kissinger makes the call on the baseline.
Well, both teams' defense have been special. You didn't want to criticize the offense. Maybe Texas Tech saying we're dribbling the ball way too much, but because Oklahoma's been getting up in the passing lanes, they're down in the stance, they're communicating, they're moving on the pass, not on the catch. And Texas Tech on the other end is just getting up in the face of Oklahoma's three-point shooters, and Oklahoma's going to have to drive the ball to the rim and try to go inside a little bit more.
Three-point lead for the Sooners, under 3 to go first half. Neither team shooting it well here tonight. Now there's a nice slip to the basket by Zaire Smith, and Hamilton found it.
Oh, that's a good read by Smith, and that's what Texas Tech does well when they're in a good flow offensively.
Young had it blocked by Hamilton. Sonny Hamilton, the 6'11" senior from Chicago, ripping it away from the freshman, and Evans scoring on the other end for Texas Tech.
That was a bad shot by Trey Young, and Evans just turned it into an easy one down the other end. Trey Young didn't really run back on defense.
Young, the lob to Manick, and he sets it right in the hoop.
That was a good, sensible, calm down play by Trey Young. Didn't get frustrated, just took his time, threw it over the top.
5th assist for Trey Young. Manick now with 4 points. Hamilton for 3, missed badly. Wouldn't think that's his shot. Zaire Smith leaning in, the crowd wanting a charge as Manick stepped in front of Smith, but no whistle.
Well, Oklahoma's got to calm down now. I liked earlier in the half where they got Trey Young off the ball, kind of a misdirection, set a downscreen for him, and got him attacking from the wing.
Young, deep 3. Young gets it back. McNeese. And it'll belong to Texas Tech.
Well, you can bet the ranch that Ron Kruger will be happy at halftime and praise his team for their defensive effort and just try to calm them down, settle them down, give them a few little pointers on the offensive end. The ball's got to move a little bit more. Trey Young's, these shots are not going to fall because the Texas Tech defense is just way too good.
Culver rolling to the basket, another block by Jamani McNeese. McNeese and Latin, a great blocking duo. Good pass ahead. And now there's a block for Smith as Manick was contested at the rim. Evans on the run. Hamilton misses the layup. Steals Smith. Now going up and fouled at the rim is Justin Gray as we got just a manic pace.
Also, Ray Natili. There was not a play on the basketball, so Texas Tech is going to get the 2 free throws and the ball back. One thing you cannot do is just be loose with the basketball against Texas Tech. Kansas found this out, and here you see that's just an excellent call. McNeese, just frustration, just grabs Hamilton right around the waist, and that's an easy one.
Funny McNeese.
Good play, though, by McNeese, not letting Hamilton hit the floor. He held him up.
Yeah, it was a class move there, not to worse than it already was.
But one thing that Texas Tech does, and in a little bit similar way to West Virginia, they're not going to get up and pressure you and face guard you in the full court after makes, but Keenan Evans kind of plays like a free safety after a make, and if you are loose with the basketball, he has a great sense of kind of stepping in and getting some steals, and where Oklahoma has to be aware that they can't just run down the court with their head down. They've got to make sure they make a proper outlet before they release and go the other way.
Justin Gray, an 85% free throw shooter. That's his first point tonight. And Texas Tech will have it underneath. With 46.3 seconds to go, it's been a tough first half for the freshman Trae Young, sitting on 5 points. He has 5 assists, but 1 of 12 shooting. Now, he made some really good adjustments in the second half at West Virginia. It didn't help Oklahoma get the win, but he did make some adjustments as Evans drains the three.
Keenan Evans has not shot the ball that well this year. Last year he was over 40, only 34% this year from 3, but you see he's got a nice stroke and he's playing with a lot of confidence right now here on the end of the half. Texas Tech going to show some zone and then probably go back to man.
About a 4-second difference between game and shot. Young watched by another freshman, Jared Culver.
They're in the man now. They're going to get out pressure on the perimeter.
Feeds James for 3. Got it! First three-pointer of the half for Oklahoma. Evans ahead of the horn. Doesn't go. So the 3 brings Oklahoma to within 2 at the break. Young, a season low for points in the first half. Sits at 5 with 6 assists.
Well, a little frustrating half for him offensively, but he gave a lot of effort defensively against him. Got to change his game up a little bit this half. I mean, obviously you don't want him to lose that aggressiveness, but when a team takes away what you do best, you have to counter. So become a quarterback. He has other options out there on the floor.
Taco Bell game track. You see the totals for Young. Keenan Evans, 9 points to lead Texas Tech. Kadeem Latin with his 4th block. As we get underway here in the second half.
Party, 13 blocks already in this game total, but Texas Tech has struggled offensively as well. Only 2 assists, 11 turnovers. So this Beard's got to get some more movement offensively on his end of the floor. Keenan Evans does a nice job of just finding an angle and the help coming from the weak side, and that's where Keenan Evans has to be ready to dish the ball to Odiasi, who was wide open right in front of the rim.
Coach, we saw Young make some adjustments in Morgantown as Latin gets the feed from the point. Nice feed from Odoms. But Young had a 3 for 11 first half, 9 points in Morgantown, then finished with 29 as he went 5-11 in the second half. Did some things differently. We'll see what kind of adjustments he can make.
Right, and he has to continue not to turn it over, though. That's important, and still stay connected and focused on the defensive end of the floor, which he has so far tonight.
Zaire Smith had it halfway down and bounces out.
There's different ways to win a game, and Oklahoma's going to have to find a way to win this game differently, because Texas Tech is not going to let them run up and down the floor and just play a freewheeling game. And so far, Oklahoma has answered. It hasn't been pretty. It hasn't been the way they've done it all season long, but they're finding a way with their defense.
The contested field goals and contested field goals, just always somebody in his way. Good pass to Latin from Young. There's assist number 7. Now Chris Beard quickly calls a timeout for the Red Raiders as Oklahoma goes back in front by 2.
Chris Beard called timeout because he didn't like the way they played this high screen roll. Here they come out, and Lawrence Odiasi comes out and shows but stays too long, and obviously he wants him to show and recover and not leave his man wide open at the rim.
Games of 20 points or more. He's only had 5 here tonight. He's done a better job limiting the turnovers to.
He has. He hasn't tried to squeeze something out of nothing too much, but the length of Texas Tech has really bothered him as far as getting any sort of clean vision on his perimeter shots.
Zaire Smith at the start tonight because Zach Smith is out with a foot injury, and he gives it back to Oklahoma.
Again, Trae Young did a really good job. He just drop step, cut him off, and made him a passer, and there was nowhere to go on the inside for Smith.
So 12 turnovers for Texas Tech. They averaged 13 per game. Already had a dozen. That's an offensive foul against the Sooners. Christian James with the personal.
That's what Texas Tech's going to do. They're going to give up their body, and it's amazing that forearm of Christian James could knock over somebody that weighs 245 pounds, but sometimes science can be interesting.
Goes against common sense. Now Oklahoma averaging 94 points per game. Leads the country by far, but they're going to have a hard time getting to 70 now.
Well, Lon understands, though, that in this league, he's not going to be able to run up and down and get 94 points every night. And they're going to have to be a more solid team defensively, and you see that tonight. And they've been working on that as of late. And Christian Doolittle, as he gets back into the rotation, more strength on the inside as far as a more balanced guy they can throw the ball to on the inside as well.
Stevenson gets it out on the perimeter. Evans, rainbow three doesn't go. Evans, quiet 9 points for Texas Tech. As Young takes it in deep, had it stripped. That's going to be a foul on Culver.
One of the coaches in this league already have complained quite a bit. And here we go, just a little experience. Tommy Hamilton's been around the block.
Zaire Smith, he's going to have a bright career. I really like the rookie. As that one goes in for Young, he points skyward.
That's a good out-of-bounds play on the baseline, and Trae Young set a really good baseline screen to free up Kadeem Lattin. His man had to help, which opened him up for a screener on the wing.
You can kind of see Young take a deep sigh, and he's trying to settle back in.
He's been more successful off the ball as far as a scorer, but then he does that.
Great feed to Manick, but blocked by Culver. Now Stevenson in transition, and he's fouled by Lattin. They're going to wave that off. It's a foul on the floor.
Manick will learn, especially if he gets into that Blake Griffin Performance Center that's being built out back of Lloyd Noble, that you gotta lift the weights in here. Here's a screen-to-screener on the baseline. But Manick, once he gets it in the weight room, he'll just pound that through the dunk. He just tried to finesse it. There's no finessing against Texas Tech.
No. They're holding teams to 29% shooting from three this year. Texas Tech has limited Oklahoma to 2 of 13 from three here tonight, just 15%. And you can see, first trip up the floor, pretty good around the rim, too, as that one goes in for Odiasa.
Brandon Francis, he's going to be really important for Texas Tech moving forward in the Big 12. You can see he's becoming more comfortable. He's done an excellent job defensively and looking for a shot around the rim.
And Young lays 2 more in. Just like that, he's in double figures.
Well, just like that, though, they're moving the ball a little bit more from side to side, which gives him a little bit more space and freedom.
Francis. Out of bounds to Texas Tech. 16-11 to play in the half.
You see a little on the high screen. This time, no hedge, and Odiasi just blows right by him. And what West Virginia did when they set that high ball screen, they just got the ball out of his hands, and they just came up with that secondary defender and pushed him through the sideline until he got the ball out of his hands. And see, he's calmed down a little bit here in the second half, and it's not pressing as much, and that's just good coaching by Lon Kruger at halftime, being positive, showing him what he did well and then what he didn't do well.
Fell down after the shot, was looking for a foul.
Interesting. He took about a 27-footer with no passes, and a quick glance to the coach to see if it was okay, and Lon Kruger didn't even look at it.
Texas Tech just 1 of 6 from the field so far here in the half. Moretti drives. Sealed off by Odoms in a traveling call. Another turnover for Tech. That's 13 now.
Tired of wrestling with seemingly impossible cleaning tasks?
Not only in the Big 12, but in the country, Javon Carter next Monday.
It kind of reminds me of when we were in the Big East, where we had Louisville, Syracuse, Connecticut, Pittsburgh, Villanova, West Virginia coming up in our next 5 or 6 games. And if you ever looked ahead, your stomach started to turn, and it wasn't a good feeling. And sleep was lacking because you didn't want to think ahead. And that's what the Big 12 is. It's just there's no bottom. And of course, Miami's excellent this year under Jim Larinaga, and Duke has had their problems on the road early in the ACC.
Already is fouled. But you think about West Virginia tonight hosting Baylor. And then the Mountaineers go to Lubbock on Saturday, and then Kansas Monday.
Well, experience one-on-one is what you have and what we have as well. Is that the thing you don't do is ever ask one of these coaches, well, what do you think about next Saturday's game against Baylor or next Saturday's game against West Virginia? They look at you like, are you out of your mind? I don't even know what we're doing after tomorrow. And right now there's a discussion of something. Here's the great trainer Alex Brown, 33 years on the OU sidelines. He's seen a lot. Billy Tubbs.
Alex is talking to Bert Smith. One of our officials is heading toward the locker room. Bert Smith may be injured or not feeling well. Anyway, Alex, like you said, he can take care of him. He's in good hands.
Alex Smith is one of the best, if not the best in the country. A trainer and
good golfer too, as you know.
How about that guy? He's got 10 hole-in-ones. If people don't believe it, just look at his license plate. But we hope Bert Smith's okay.
Yeah.
And we're going to go with 2.
Rainer Tilley, crew chief tonight. Kip Kissinger will handle it for the time being, maybe for the rest of the game. 40-33, number 9, Oklahoma. Trying to get back to the winning ways. They had the 10-game winning streak snapped at West Virginia on the weekend. Texas Tech, they're flying high. First 3-0 start in Big 12 play since 2004.
Lon Kruger will do this just to keep you off balance, not let you get into a rhythm, showing a little zone.
Tommy Hamilton, that's his second three-point miss. Yeah, 42% from outside the arc for the big man, but
that was under duress.
Yeah.
Good job by Oklahoma switching defenses. Texas Tech really didn't react well. They never got it inside the three-point line.
Young got the 3. That's his second 3, and now all of a sudden the Sooners have opened up their biggest lead. It's double digits.
When you break his tapes down, he gets most of his points, if not 90% of them off the bounce. And a good look. Oklahoma confused defensively, but Trae Young has done well tonight and been more successful off the ball, moving away off the ball, catching and shooting.
Auburn's first 2. Young, the pass, that's deflected out of bounds at 17 on the shot clock.
Watch Trae Young. He kind of gets lost in the shuffle on the baseline, and everybody in the world knows where he is when he has the ball, but when he doesn't have the ball, a nice look by Doolittle, just seeing the floor, a good quick skip pass, catch and shoot.
That's what we saw on Saturday. Young just started to heat up slowly in Morgantown. Now all of a sudden he's 4-16. A couple of 3s under his belt here in the half. Young, another triple. You bet.
That was pretty good defense by Brandon Francis, but not good enough. You've got to get that one step closer to Trae Young.
Now Evans is bumped by McNeese. That's where the Steph Curry comes from. You know, right there.
Well, the ability to create space really when there isn't any. He rises up, you see he's got that high release, but also that step back. You're afraid of him off the bounce because he's got a lot of room to roam because Oklahoma's offense is set up where they've got three-point shooters all over the perimeter, so that allows him the freedom just to take you off the bounce, and he's so good with both hands. You have to be aware of that, and then a little hesitation, and then the step back dagger.
5 points in the 17 minutes he played in the first half, 11 since halftime, and around 6 minutes. It's a 17-4 run here for Oklahoma. Culver flying in on the baseline, slams it down.
It's a second possession now. Oklahoma was in that zone, but it looked like almost 4 guys were in the zone, and 1 player was confused and maybe playing man and not communicating. I would think Lon Kruger gets out of that defense quickly because they're not all on the same page.
Culver, one of the exciting newcomers for Texas Tech out of Coronado High School right there in Lubbock. Young floats it up off the window, and that's going to be a foul on Culver.
And again, Clay, that's a perfect example of why he's so hard to defend, because he knocks down the three from the exact spot there. He takes Culver off the dribble because Culver's got to go out and be aware of the three-point line, and he just blows by him with a lot of room to roam because Christian James and company are spread out on the perimeter, and there's no help.
Third foul on Culver sends Young to the line.
Watch here, coming down on the offensive end. You're spaced out. You see all the space there, and you can't help from the perimeter because you've got Christian James, just a terrific three-point shooter on the same side as Trae Young, and we all know he will give that ball up immediately if he smells some help.
Very good free throw shooter, Trae Young, 85%. He's 5 for 5 at the line tonight, and now sitting on 18. Also has 7 assists. Moretti trying to keep it over the half-court line, can't do it. It's an over and backcourt.
Davide Moretti will be able to play in this league at a high level one day, but right now he is facing some good hard-nosed defense here. Oklahoma's getting after it.
Davide Moretti averages 6 points per game. Runs past the corner, deflected out with 23 in the shot clock.
Pretty good defense by Texas Tech. They closed the door on the dribble drive to the rim, and Trae Young had nowhere to go.
We all knew that the McDonald's All-American from right down the road here in Norman North High School was going to be good. How much better has Kruger made him since coming out of
he's taken a huge step, and you hear John Calipari talk about it because he said, I didn't know he could be this good. Everybody knew he could score, but the passing part of it was always there, but you have to find it in a young man, and he found it. He got him to buy into being a quarterback, a leader, a distributor, a defender, and still be a scorer.
You were talking with Trae Young about how coach has helped him, especially in the communications end.
Well, it's hard. It's a fine line. Again, you have a freshman come in, and he is such a dominant presence, not only off the court, but on the floor. Taking a lot of shots, but his teammates are buying in because he shares the basketball, and he's a good young guy who understands that this team needs me to score, but also I need my teammates.
Young underneath, fouled again by Culver. That's his 4th. Texas Tech has gone cold from the field. They're 3 of 12 shooting. Let's see if Chris Beard takes Culver out. As Young goes back to the line. First miss at the stripe tonight. The Women's Thursday Night Showcase features a pair of top 5 teams. Muffet McGraw's #2 Fighting Irish taking on #3 Louisville. They're perfect on the year, 18-0. It's Thursday night, 7 Eastern on ESPN. Culver goes down with 4. 49-37 Oklahoma. Texas Tech really needs a good possession here, Tim. Francis for 3.
Oklahoma back in the zone, did a better job of rotating, and
Young so quick. Found a lane to the basket but couldn't finish. Now Stevenson in transition with Francis, who is fouled. So Francis will be at the line when we come back with 11:44 to play here in Norman. The Sooners on top by a dozen.
Try Degree Ultra Clear Black.
He's made the game okay for a guy like me who plays the way I do. So it's very humbling, and I was really excited when I heard it. But but it's really cool though too.
Slow starter tonight, but Trae has come alive here in the second half.
Well, again, we've talked about it. He's just mature for his age. He's beyond his years, not only on the court, as we said, but off the court as well, handling everything. Got a great support system with, first and foremost, Lon here within the program, and then his parents at every game. But they thrive under pressure. You see he's come out in the second half playing a lot, just more relaxed but still aggressive behavior.
Brandon Francis at the line for Texas Tech. You've had some good point guards in your time too, specifically Providence. Who's the best point guard you ever had in your time as a head coach?
Best point guard we had a guy named Marshawn Brooks. It was great. We had a guy named John Linehan back at Providence, though, was the best defensive player I've ever coached. And still holds the all-time steals record in NCAA basketball. So he's now a coach. Maybe he's watching tonight. He's sticking his chest out. He should.
Doolittle backing down Francis. Double clutch, missed the shot. Did you ever give anybody a green light like Kruger gives Trey?
No. I wasn't confident enough as a coach, I don't think, to do that.
Moretti, there he is, finally getting on the scoreboard with a three.
Well, they like Davide Moretti as he gets more used to playing in the U.S. and in this style of play. He's going to be a good player in the Big 12 moving forward.
37% three-point shooter. That's a specialty. Turnaround nicely done by Kadeem Latin. Those are his first 2 points. He's been doing it on the defensive end with 4 blocks, but now he has his first field goal, and Moretti starting to feel it. Left it short that time. Latin with the rebound.
You know, Oklahoma staying in this zone, and there's a couple of reasons why. Number one, I think they're making sure they don't want to chase that motion around. Also, they've got a big size advantage right now. The Zach Smith being out really hurts Texas Tech. They're dreadfully small right now. And Oklahoma taking advantage on both ends of the floor, especially with Latin. Look at the post up down low. And he's right on Brandon Francis. And Latin at 6'9" easily shoots over the 6'5" Francis.
Moretti picks up that foul as Latin goes to the line. Trae Young just 5 assists shy of an Oklahoma freshman record. Well, that's definitely gonna go down here before maybe the night is out. Tommy Mason Griffin, 154 assists in the 09-10 season. Moretti from that same spot off the heel. Stevenson keeps it alive for Texas Tech. Down 12.
Doing a nice job in this 1-3-1. Hands are up. They're communicating. They're forcing Texas Tech to do everything from the perimeter. Finally, Evans finds a little seam as they reverse the ball from side to side.
Evans with his first 2 since halftime. He had 15 against Kansas in that win a week ago tonight. 27 against K-State on the weekend. Young, nice move around Smith.
Says that man's from Norman. That looked like he was in the playgrounds of New York City, a little up and under. They were trying to post Latin up down low. He had the big size advantage. They were doing a good job of tightening him up, and he just had that ability and space to go one-on-one.
So Young up over 20 points for the 14th time this season.
Well, they're trying to go into Kadeem Latin here, but finds an angle, a little push off, a little up and under, and just the great footwork and soft touch in the lane under duress.
It's just amazing what this young man is accomplishing in his first season at this level. 14 straight of 20 or more. Also has 7 assists tonight. 6 of 7 at the line.
Well, the important piece, 2 pieces tonight, is that number one, he didn't get frustrated on a 1-for-12 effort in the first half. And number 2, he's passed the ball well, hasn't turned it over, and he's played really good defense.
Culver from the wing hits the 3. Well, he's having a good second half. Nothing in the first half, and he's got 7 since the break.
Well, you can't relax against this team because they will continue to punch you in the stomach on this end of the floor and attack on the offensive end.
Young drives and it was kicked.
Well, we certainly hope Bert Smith is okay. He went to the locker room. The official 5-6 minutes ago, but these officials have done a good job, Ray Natili and Kip Kissinger, and they're veterans out there on the floor. They understand the different rotations now with the two-man crew versus the three.
Trae Young is going to go back to the bench. Take a breather here for Oklahoma. And that's going to be, you know, part of what Lon Kruger's going to have to continue to figure out is when to rest him. Spent about 3 minutes on the bench in the first half. Manic. Belongs to Texas Tech with 8:43 to play.
A little bit of a frustration play by Brady Manic. And we were here last week when he basically didn't even hit the rim from that shot. Made 7 threes, 28 points, but went scoreless against that in-your-face West Virginia defense. And he's learning how to play offensively in this league, and he's going to have to put the ball on the floor a little bit more to be successful.
Lon Kruger told you and I, once he adds 20 pounds, look out.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. He's really been overshadowed by Trae Young, but it's a pair of good-looking freshmen from right outside of Oklahoma City. It's nice when you have the best players in the country right around the corner. You can basically ride your bike over to, or you could ride his bike over to the campus. Actually, he probably did when he was a ball boy, Trae Young for Oklahoma.
So there's numbers for Manic, and he struggled a little bit against Big 12 with the exception of the Oklahoma State game. He gets it into the front court, finds James, nice shot fake. The return pass to Manic went through his fingers. McGusty now will reset or try to. McNeese, nice spin around Odiase. Floater doesn't go. And it's going to be a foul on Jimani. His third.
Texas Tech really tightened the screws defensively. That was really good defense by Odiase. They need him in the middle because without Zach Smith, they don't really have another post present. Tommy Hamilton will come in, but he struggled tonight at times. And Chris Beard's been going with a smaller, quicker lineup. And Lon Kruger smells a little bit of a Texas Tech resurgence, so he's going to put Trae Young back in the game.
8th team foul on Oklahoma. 6 on Texas Tech. That was actually the 4th personal on McNeese. He's going to go to the bench along with James. Young sat for just 33 seconds. He's back in the game. $13 points for Keenan Evans. It's back to a 5-point game.
And a little pressure when they get the ball out of Trae Young's hands. And continue to take their time. Texas Tech is still down in the stance and communicating defensively and making it hard for Oklahoma to get clean looks.
McGusty right in front of Smith. Got it and one. Now Cam McGusty has been quiet tonight. He averages 10 points per game. That's his 3rd and 4th on the basket, and he'll have a chance for a 3-point play.
He's had some big games over his career, and he is just getting used to this role of coming in off the bench and finally buying in, and been a positive over the last 5 games for Oklahoma, coming in off the bench. And that time just they took away his 3-point shot, and he found that space again from that right wing.
And McGusty has only attempted the 1-3 tonight. And it was a miss. He's missed now 18 of his, missed 17 of his first 22 threes, but he's kind of snapped out of it, like you said, over the last month. Kadeem Latin gets the rebound out, the Culver miss. And now Young is fouled by Francis. No, that's going to be a foul on Young.
That's a good call by Ray Natili. And Trae Young usually gets that call where the offensive player, where he creates the contact with the defensive player, but this time Trae Young gets caught with extending. Good call.
The nation in points per game at 29. Leads the nation with 10 assists. He did not have a good start to this game. A poor half in the first, but he has come on here since halftime.
Well, he forced some shots early in the first half, kind of getting used to what Texas Tech was going to do to him, and he's reacted well in the second half. He's played a little bit more under control. He hasn't come down and tried to force things against the set defense, and he's waited until he found some space. They've moved him off the ball a little bit, and he's continued to run the team very well. Only 2 turnovers on the night.
5 for 8 shooting here since the break for Trae Young. Texas Tech hanging in there, down 8.
They'll try to get the ball in the middle of this zone. They're really struggling to shoot the ball from the perimeter.
Evans shoots and misses. Culver on the handoff. Zaire Smith. Culver having a great second half.
Well, that was created, though, by Keenan Evans, just getting a little bit of dribble penetration, even though he missed the shot.
Jared Culver, 13 points against Baylor, a dozen at Kansas. See why they're high on the freshman.
Well, Texas Tech, for the most part, has been attacking that 1-3-1 by just passing it around the perimeter and just taking contested jumpers and one and done. But that time, Evans did a nice job of penetrating the gaps, drawing the defense even on the miss, but there was nobody on the backside to clean up for Oklahoma.
Chris Beard has to be careful with Culver, who has 4 fouls. James hits his second 3.
Now, that's got to be annoying for Chris Beard, understanding that you've got to close out really hard and tight with Christian James.
Evans defended well by Latin. Odiasi. Well defended.
Well defended, a little bit too quick, though, for Texas Tech. Not patient enough to find the gaps and openings in that zone as the ball shifts. And Texas Tech has to be more patient.
High ball screen, Young can't finish. And Moretti will run it ahead for Texas Tech with 6:40 to play. Evans for 3. Slamming it back is Zaire Smith. How about the rookie from Garland, Texas?
I was about to say that's not a good shot by Keenan Evans, because Trae Young never got back into play defensively. They had numbers. They didn't really give the defense any look, but the numbers paid off on the backside. Nobody blocking off Zaire Smith.
Outstanding freshman, 10 straight games in double figures. He's got 6 now as Latin gets another feed from Young. That's his 9th assist.
Oklahoma can go to the well with that play. Texas Tech has struggled to guard that middle ball screen, and Trae Young is doing a nice job of pitching it right over the top to Latin, where he can just catch it and finish it right at the rim.
Evans right in front of McGusty. Got it! It's a long 2 for Evans.
Keenan Evans is getting really aggressive with his offense, and Chris Beard needs that because he's feeling confident late.
Now James with the charge. Moretti steps in front, takes that charge, and Texas Tech will get it back with 5:36 to go, down 7.
Well, who says they don't play defense in Italy and only eat pasta? This man is tough, and this guy's even tougher playing above the rim. And no block out, comes right from the top of the key, and that's where in this 1-3-1, that second line of defense has to slide in and form a wall on the blockouts.
Zaire Smith's dad, Billy Ray, played football and basketball at Kansas State back in the late 80s. Played under Lon Kruger, in fact, in Manhattan for a time. Hamilton, the big man. Yes! Hits the 3, and Texas Tech is within 4.
Not sure what the whistle was. I think Lon Kruger wanted a timeout, but
now Zaire Smith was called for a foul.
Well, Tommy Hamilton just kind of slid out on the wing, and looked like Oklahoma was back in man-to-man, and Kadeem Latin kind of got caught in the middle of the lane and didn't know where his man was, and that's what Hamilton can do. He's 6'11", 250, but can knock down the 3.
That foul was on Smith, his 3rd, sending Young to the line. The team's at the line the rest of the way, and Texas Tech is in the double bumps. Young now 23 points.
Going back to the man-to-man. And put pressure on Trae Young. He's got the matchup up top against Keenan Evans.
Keenan Evans feeds Moretti from the corner for three. It's strong. Rebound, Odoms with a grunt. He pulls it down. Oklahoma by 6 as we go under 5 minutes to play.
Well, that was a good drive and dish, but good interior defense by Oklahoma. They cut off the lane to the basket to Evans.
Odoms had it poked away, loose ball. Tracked down by Young. Bingo. That's his 4th 3 tonight.
That man knows where the three-point line is. He was inside the 3 and he took a little half step back. I'm not taking a tough 2. I'm getting the extra point.
The up and under for Evans as Texas Tech refuses to go away.
I think there's some good point guards in this league, Mr. Clay. Oh, there are.
And they all, especially the veterans, take a challenge from this excitement surrounding Young.
Watch the 3 in the presence of mind. He's inside the three-point line. Just take that little step back. Doesn't even look down. He knows where that line is. And I'm not taking a 2. I'm getting the extra 1.
Foul on Hamilton. Kadeem Latin, the 1-and-1.
And you try to teach your players that, but it's very difficult within the course of the game. And the game's progressed. You're tired. You're playing so hard. You're trying to guard one of the best point guards around in Keenan Evans. But just an unbelievable sense of where he is on the floor at all times.
Hamilton, another 3. Maybe he's getting a little too comfortable out there.
Well, I think Oklahoma's pretty fortunate. You've got to go out and guard him there. I mean, that was pretty much a wide open look where Latin just didn't even leave the lane to go guard him. And you've seen Hamilton can knock that shot down.
James spinning. Doolittle keeps it alive for Oklahoma. Fresh shot clock. Young had 1 field goal make in the first half. He's got 26 points now. 4 of 9 from outside the arc. Another save by Doolittle. Odoms drives. And a foul. 3:11 to go. Texas Tech within 8. Some years back was a sophomore when he won it with the Sooners. And Trae Young, 25+ points in 13 straight. Longest streak by a major conference player in the last 20 seasons.
Well, he's learned his lessons well, not only from the West Virginia game, but from the first half of this game. And even though he was 1 for 12, we talked about it. He did a good job of running the team, including everybody else. And right now, he's not forcing shots. He's really looking for his teammates. They're running that high ball screen in the middle of the floor. Texas Tech has struggled to defend it, and he's doing a good job of just point-blank, perfect passes to the roll man, so he just can catch and finish at the rim.
And so Oklahoma gets back to a double-digit advantage with 3 minutes to go. Moretti thought about the 3, now drives into the paint, rejected by Latin. That's block number 5 for Kadeem. Moretti will try from outside now. No better.
And now a good offensive possession, 2 possessions by Texas Tech. Not a lot of movement, just standing around trying to go one-on-one, and they need to really move the pieces out there on the floor. Oklahoma's doing a lot of switching 1 through 4, but they're not putting them in any difficult spots because everybody's standing away from the basketball.
There's his 10th assist. No. Latin missed the bunny. Foul on James. Actually on Doolittle. The second.
Well, great recognition by Trae Young. He saw the double, came at him quickly, and he attacked over the top before the double prevented him from seeing anything inside, and just unusually too quick with that at the rim. Well, again, this is why when he takes 8 or 9 shots in a row and misses, his teammates don't mind because he's so unselfish, and that's the way he's played tonight. He's just giving the ball up and just taking what the defense gives him, really. And that's what you want your point guard to do, even though he is so special as a scorer.
Boy, Culver missed them both. I think he has shown a lot of character tonight, Tim. You know, it was not a pretty first half. And that's coming off a game where his team didn't win at West Virginia, and he didn't have a good first half there either. That rattles down for James.
When you break the tape down, you grade out a player's total efficiency, and that's what Trae Young has done tonight. He has played a complete game, offensively running the team, and also rock solid defensively.
Hamilton, the stick back. And Chris Beard calling a timeout with 1:40 to play, down 11.
It's also one thing to have a special
here tonight, what Trae Young accomplished. And what's next for Alabama after that unforgettable national championship game? All that more on SportsCenter, 11 Eastern on ESPN. How about the freshman quarterback for Oklahoma last night?
Oh, a steal.
That's up over the backboard. Talk about freshmen making impacts.
Oh, that was amazing. You go with it in that type of setting. And speaking of John Gruden, I put a call into our good friend Sean McDonough to tell him that Coach Welsh used to play a little quarterback back in the day. And
you got eligibility?
You know, Gruden's seat is open. I could still do both, but he didn't return my call, so I guess
you're not.
I guess I'm out of the mix.
Doesn't shock me. Young playing keep away here. Stevenson running the ball, time ticking away here on Texas Tech.
Be a high ball screen or a 30-footer.
Tipped out. Evans can't lay it in. That's going to be a goaltend on Lack. So count the basket.
Now again, Kip Kissinger and Ray Natili have done a really good job in the last second part of the second half with Bert Smith in the locker room with an illness.
Young fouled. Stevenson with 57.9 to play. Young has been solid at the line tonight, 8 for 9.
Played a few more minutes than normal as well tonight because every time he came out of the game, their offense really sputtered against Texas Tech's rock solid defense. And so he's had to do it for a long time tonight, and on both ends of the floor. He did not hide on the defensive end of the floor. He was very, very good.
Had 4 steals before halftime. And you can see it's the 9th time in that 20-29 ballpark. Dad Rayford played at Texas Tech in the late 90s. He scored 41 against Kansas one night. Really good player at Texas Tech.
Again, excellent defense by Trae Young, cutting off the penetration, the angles of Keenan Evans, and staying on the ground on the contest.
Timeout, Lon Kruger. There's Rayford up to his feet. Candace is also here tonight.
They're staying up late tonight, although this was a 6 p.m. tip, so everyone will be home early enough to relax and enjoy a little bit of a dinner. And hey, it's got to be so rewarding for him because they went through the whole process of recruiting. It wasn't a done deal. He was coming here, but at the end of the day, he wanted to stay home next to his family and play in a great program.
As taken away by Moretti. 3-on-2 the other way. Stevenson lost it. And Doolittle able to clear with 20 seconds to go. And Young will dribble it back out and kill the clock. Nice win for Oklahoma here tonight.
Well, this is the way Lon Kruger's team used to do it. Just rock solid defense and efficient on the offensive end.
27 points, 9 assists for Trae Young, Oklahoma. goes to 13-2, 3-1 in the Big 12. First loss for Texas Tech. As they fall here tonight, the Red Raiders now have to battle West Virginia on Saturday on ESPN. And Oklahoma will have TCU. For Tim Welsh, I'm Clay Matvick saying so long from Norman. 75-65 the final. We now send you to Auburn as the Tigers play host to Ole Miss.
Super Tuesday.